One more time.
And Crusader also in the north already. Holzbier coming in Tuna, they're both coming in hard. Ah, Crusader. What a madman. Savo can't do shit about it. Jesus Christ also can't do anything about it. Crusader just drives into the hardcap. What? And he's at the garrison. What a madman. Garrison down for Crusader. He just took the garrison.
Yo, airhead coming down.
Meet your HE.
Oh, artillery took out it.
This is wonderful.
Oh yeah!
Shit, yeah.
On the backside of that attack. Oh my god, are we gonna go for a knife?
Oh, the knife!
Is he gonna satchel after?
Is he gonna satchel after?
Satchel?
Knife and satchel? He gets it?
He get it? He get it? Okay. You don't know how bad it is right now. Okay, Daniel's okay. Oh my god.
Knife?
Wait.
Oh, just brilliant turnover about to happen here. The collapse. Oh my god! What was that?
Thomer, Ronkon, shivering into each other. Thomer with the kill. Thomer with two. To the garrison, that definitely has been spotted. However, looks like Wimbolo getting the kill. 2 kills there. That's a satch. He does spot Sitch. That's a 1 shot, 2 shots, 2 kills.
Front door still open. All D back. And you have to reset. So we'll see.
Oh!
What did you just see?
Oh! Carnage.
That mine is just ahead.
One dead next to you, Rico.
Ja, I'll finish it.
Rudi mit der Satchel. Oh, Typical 4 Leute. Wir gehen ihm einfach bocken.
Der ist bereit mit seinem MG. Genauso wie Peekaboo. Oh, es ist ein Gemetzel. Es ist ein Gemetzel. Die Spawnwave kommt rein. 2 MGs. Peekaboo, Cripable.
Okay, you are forgiven. You are immediately forgiven.
Spawn! Open up against the reinforcements. What is that clip?
Come on, Broken. Broken! 1 down, 2 down.
Die Gani steht hier immer noch. Genosse pusht jetzt auf die Gani. Genosse pusht die Gani. Nimmt 2, 3 Leute raus. So schön gemacht von Genosse. Love hier noch als einziger Verteidiger in der Gani. OP ist raus. Love muss wissen, dass jetzt wieder an der Gani liegt. Kann Love die Gani verteidigen?
Improbable. With 2, you said it, Pep. Oh, is that a satchel?
Hey, how are you?
Oh, no sound? No sound, apparently.
Hello, can you hear me now? Yeah, so just saying, awesome reaction there from No Connection in that video. Massive thanks to Das Altberg as always for the sick little intro. Really cool to see everybody getting out of the competition, let's say, in that video. Pretty funny. And a massive hello and welcome to the show to ColeTrain. What's up, ColeTrain? How are you doing?
Good, and you?
Excellent, excellent. So for those of you who kind of don't know, ColeTrain, quite successful, I think it's fair to say, of late. Hell Let Loose player here with the line. Played Commander yesterday in their fantastic win over ESPT OPBHB. and welcome, as I say, to the show. Good to have you.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Thank you for all the people I see in chat already. We'll kind of do our best to keep up with the stuff going on in chat. Obviously, we've not got a 15-minute delay today, which is pretty cool. Always gives us a nice chance to like interact with people. Thanks to everyone who's like followed my stream yesterday, by the way. It's literally crazy the number of people who followed yesterday. So I'm not gonna like read everybody out. Sometimes I read people out, but like there's just way too many. But thank you for that. Obviously, jump over to No Connections stream, drop him a follow, drop your favorite casters a follow as well. When you kind of watch the clips that we'll show you later on in the show, make sure you go over and watch the actual streams as well. So
I have to ask quickly. God damn it, Bert! What's up with Cole's mother? Is there like is there a backstory to this? I feel like people might want to know this.
It's because we played on Mother's Day, and there's a whole thing about that. And then I told everyone to go tell their moms after the game, tell their mothers they love them.
Right, because they hadn't been around before that to spend actual time with them, quality time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, they can make do for 1 year, I guess. Obviously, if you've seen the show before, then you'll know. But for anybody who's new, what we're going to do this evening is just quickly go over the games that have been played over the weekend. Obviously, we've got kind of fewer than we have on other occasions because we're getting that right down to the kind of nitty-gritty business end of the tournament now. So we'll go over those games for the weekend. We'll have a little look at the stats, courtesy of Abusify, and also Jane as well. Massive thanks to her for helping out with the stats this week. This chat, outrageous. And then we'll be looking ahead at the weekend to come, the semi-finals, and then finally finishing off with some clips. So without further ado, and not too much chat about ColeTrain's lovely mother, who I hear is an absolute saint, we will get straight on to the previously on section. Okay, so jumping over to the kind of the table of what's occurred so far, we'll just kind of go over the main stage for you real quick. So we've seen all of these teams now kind of play through, well, for the line and for some others as well, play all the way through those qualifying stages and get all the way through the main stage as well. We've now only got the line here from the qualifiers, but we did have Team Phoenix as well. As you can see, in the main stage, if you won 3, you went through to the playoffs. So in the end, we kind of got this final cadre of teams. What the Hell, Core, who both won their 3 straight away. They didn't suffer any losses in the main stage. Then we had Trigger, Blacklist, and ESPT OPBHB, who all lost 1 and won 3. And then the line, Team Phoenix and 116 Greyhounds, getting through by the skin of their teeth, maybe with that 3-2 result. And some really great games on the way. I know that we've got a replay, or we just had a replay at the weekend of a game that was already played out, or those teams had already met previous in the competition. We've got another one coming up this weekend as well. So we've had some really kind of interesting storied games. I think as we've got Cole here, it'd be really interesting to kind of just talk with you before we start talking about those specific games. Just talk to you about how, like, what's that journey been like for the line? I mean, you've come such a long way in this tournament. We were just talking before the stream about, you know, your guys' kind of background as a team. For the people in chat who don't know, like, you know, where do you guys come from? How did you get here from all those weeks ago in the qualifiers?
Yeah, so we technically didn't have a full team in the last seasonal. We helped another team, TC, but so we weren't qualified as our own team to make it, you know, to the main stage. So we were in qualifiers, and just looking at this board is like bringing back memories of all the tough matches we've had to do over these past few months.
There's been crazy ones.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Even in the qualifiers. So I mean, I'm trying to think of who you actually faced off against, but like even early on, I seem to remember you having some not like easy games. You fought 501st, right? Like pretty early on, I seem to remember.
Yeah, we did. We had to, and they're a good team. We fought them, and then looking at the main stage here, Trigger was a really, really hard matchup as well. I think we played the Polish team very first qualifier, HLLPL, and then I think it was 501st. It was a long time ago now. But we
Hell Let Loose Poland and then 501st to go through with your 2-0 from qualifiers.
Yep, and the 501st match wasn't super easy or anything. They're a good team. And then first round of main stage was Trigger, which we know is a really, really strong team.
Yeah,
and we ended up losing that one, but learning a lot from it. I think we played, it was a Utah Axis, and we learned a lot about playing that map, and made a bunch of mistakes, but tried to take away some things from that and apply them later on.
Yeah, well, that's something I guess that you've kind of had to embrace as a bit of a theme throughout, and it's a sign of a good team, and probably a big part of why you're here at this stage in the tournament now, kind of being through to this semi-final stage. Obviously, Trigger, we'll get onto this a little bit later on, but Trigger not in the tournament anymore. And you said how they were a difficult opponent. House Gangster asked in the chat, which one was the toughest of the opponents that you faced?
Definitely Trigger. Before we learned that they would not be in the, they wouldn't make it through these semifinals or into the semifinals. They were one of my favorites to be like the total underdog, surprising team, could surprise a team like WTH or Core and be in the finals with them. Yeah. The way they play, they're very, very organized. They have some really, really good individuals, but their execution of strategy and speed in which they play and their just overall game plan and discipline was super impressive. And we felt, when we were playing them, we felt on our back foot the entire time. And it was like one of our hardest opponents in the tournament so far.
Yeah, interesting. Obviously you played ESPT OPBHB twice as well, like they're not at all an easy opponent. And Greyhounds as well. You had an impressive win against 116.
Yeah, that game was crazy. I remember Mr. Deuce play in the Panzer IV when they kind of blitzkrieged Chapel in the last 7 minutes of the game or something, and that was another one of those ones where we were basically about to get capped on and lose the middle point. But we had made some plays and maybe had some luck, and we're able to take that one as well.
I think that's been a few helping moments there throughout the whole tournament in different teams, that we have seen numerous tanking squads just take the initiative and just go with it. Because you've got, you might look at the map, you've got the fuel, so what? But sometimes you just need a tank just to lead the charge, and we've seen that numerous times, and obviously that was one of them. And look at where you are now because of that one initial push. Really gives everyone else that fighting courage to just get in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And tanks, they might die. It might be a suicide run, but they can get into the hard cap and live longer than an infantry. Some infantry that might, and causing us enough mayhem to slip some infantry in there and turn the tide of the cap. So I know not just our tankers, but a lot of tankers kind of see that window, or see that desperation, and they'll do what they have to. And you're right, it can be a huge game changer.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Mr. Do obviously getting a bit of a big head in the chat, but we've seen doing this show here, like we've seen how the stats of the Lions tank squads have been just, well,
I think he's seen a stats page, hasn't he? He's seen him.
He might have mentioned it before.
He's mental. Nah, but it's good, and obviously give praise where it's due. If you're getting that many kills and that many, in a game, you deserve to be up there. So
him and his crew have been killing it, through the main stage. So I think he deserves to, inflate his ego just a bit. But I'll keep him in line.
Step up and bow down.
Your guys' tanks in general. What's your other main tank squad?
It's Kalito's.
Kalito, that's right. Those guys like as well, and we'll talk about the game in a minute. But like in that game yesterday, instrumental in winning it. Obviously, Atrocity, Mr. Do, and Bossman in the other tank though. Like they just they're just running the stats. Like when we're watching these, Kalito equals the other tank squad. Says Streets, yo, they were the tactically strongest in my eyes tank squad yesterday, but again, lacking in kills. So like raw kills, there's nothing like Mr. Do Atrocity and Bossman in that in a tank. So okay, so we've obviously seen quite a few, as I say, teams like get through quite well. A very very difficult field out there. We talked about some of the teams that have been the hardest, but we did end up with What the Hell, Core, Trigger, Blacklist, ESPT, The Line, Team Phoenix, and 116 all through to the playoffs. And they were the games that we had this weekend. Unfortunately, like we'll get it out of the way straight away. Unfortunately, we didn't see the Trigger Blacklist game. They couldn't agree on a time, which is, well, to my mind, very disappointing. I mean, I won't get into it too much, but I would hope to see like a bit more maybe flexibility from both teams in trying to get this arranged. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Like getting 50 people or even more all grouped together to do something at a certain time is tricky at the best of times, and with the time difference for these two teams, it is unfortunate because obviously we see Blacklist going through kind of automatically, which I think Trigger, as you correctly identified, Cole, is like a very they're a top tier team. It would be really good to see them play, for Blacklist to get through on their merit rather than through a dropout. And unfortunately, Trigger in their previous form as CNUT, they had to drop out in the last tournament as well because of kind of scheduling problems. So hopefully we can get that sorted out in the future. But get that one out of the way. That game didn't happen. So that leaves us with What the Hell versus Team Phoenix, The Line versus ESPT, OPBHB, and Core versus 116 Greyhounds. Should we start with the What the Hell versus Team Phoenix?
Yeah.
In fact, actually, let me change this screen, and then we can start at the top here with Core and 116. It's kind of bigger for people to see. So, I think you managed to watch Core 116, right, Connection?
Yeah, I did. That was casted by Daz Alberg and Smith Case over on St. Merrick-Cleese. The second, third, and fourth point was Ruder Gamsville, St. Merrick-Cleese, and Cemetery. So it was a very, very tight battle. If Core did take the middle point, that was going to be extremely tight between St. Merrick-Cleese and Cemetery. Now, Core were, I believe, the Axis, and 116 were the Allies. Core had 124 votes to 25 for the 116 Greyhounds, so public vote were strongly behind Core on this game. However, 116 come out really, really strong. They took St. Merrick-Cleese. When they took St. Merrick-Cleese, they had quite a lot of infantry, like down at the south, trying to already push round and flank. As opposed to that north side where Hospice is, because it's got quite that open field. So 116 tried to push around there. The cap was at 1 hour 23. However, Core still had a big presence over there. It did take them quite a long time. They tried to push on from Core into St. Merrick-Cleese, but 116 were already at Ruder Gamsville at 1 hour 20, even though they capped at 1 hour 23. So they were going for that quick cap. Whether it was just a recon squad or not, it did have a little contestment. But Core's defense quickly sniffed that out and no trouble there. Core were back at 1 hour 14, trying to cap the middle point. They takes it up to about a third of the way. In comes the 75 from 116, and it continues to hold. So it's been quite constant there for about 10 minutes now in that St. Merrick-Cleese area. Continuing 4 more minutes later, 1 hour 10, Core back on the capping with a slight advantage of having a few more players of the point. get to about 60%, but again, 116 pulled it back. Very, very tight middle point. Lots of RTs, tanks, infantry kills. It was very, very compact and it's really good to see. We saw Satchelin on the chapel. You name it, we've seen it. Probably didn't see a milli kill at that time though. But we got to about just over the 1 hour mark, so around 1 hour 3. That was the time that Core finally pushed all the way through and managed to cap it without getting pushed back by the Greyhounds. So it went 3-2 to Core. It was an absolute meat grind between both teams, having Semiramis and Cemetery. That was continuing throughout the whole game. So I'm expecting to see quite high casualties, quite a high number in kills between them, a lot of tank kills as well. In around the 56th minute, 116 back in a fight, tried to go for the recap of Semiramis at 40%, but Core didn't allow them any more, so Core managed to hold that middle point again. 116 back in it again at the 47th minute. They started the cap. A few minutes later, at 43, they led the cap race, and they managed to get that Semiramis back into their hands. So now, at 47th minute, it goes 3-2 to the Greyhounds. Straight away, they were off already at Rudigamsville, trying to cap. They got about 10-15%. They were really trying just to get that 4th point, because that will give them more pressure, or less pressure, sorry, on the 3rd point. But Core again sniffed it out, and nothing came of it. In around the 39th minute, from Core trying to retake the middle point, meat grind at again lots of RT, tanks, infantry. It's constant at Semiramis. Everything is happening. It's still fighting from the 39th minute all the way down to the 26th minute, still on there. Core pushing into Cemetery. Wait there. Oh, yeah, sorry.
In so many games at this point, they all get
Yeah.
like, wait, is that this game or the other one?
No.
Carry on.
Oh, sorry. Core finally managed to take it back. Straight away, Core were trying to go straight on to Cemetery around the 26th minute mark, with lots of bodies in there to support. 116 managed to hold for a little bit, but the constant cap of the point was still underway. And in and around the 23rd minute, Core were leading the game by capping Cemetery with a huge amount of bodies. 116 tried to throw a bombing run down, takes maybe about 5-6 players down, but it's still not enough. Core have got a lot of players on their body. They've probably thrown a good maybe 70% of their team onto that point, and they cap it straight away. Core already on that 5th point for that quick cap, and they do it 5-0, 18 minutes left, game nil. Fight Core wins.
Nice. So it wasn't like a straight 5-0 then, it was very much kind of to and fro.
I feel it was far from a straight win. 116 could have won it. It was looking equal teams for a good 45 minutes until Core took Cemetery. Once they took Cemetery, they were just behind, and then they lost out on that quick cap. But yeah, it was definitely equal teams. Definitely a great game to watch from Das Alberg and Schmidt's case. Maybe another day, 116 could have won, but the day that meant it, Core did.
Yeah. So what was the like deciding factor in terms of, you know, like infantry versus the artillery versus the tanks? Like, it sounded like just the flow of the game almost, with like the combined.
I don't think generally anyone gave up, and I mean that in obviously they respawned, but they just respawned and went straight back into it. I don't think at any point the artillery went down, or if they did, it was down for a very short period because there was constant RT throughout the game.
and then it was
The
just like an
tanks,
infantry
yeah, the
grind.
tanks were flying. It was just a meat grind. Really, really good battle for a long time, and I'm pretty sure every single player out of those two teams had a beautiful sleep that night. They would
Yeah.
have been knackered.
I'm sure that's probably true for all of the different games. So who did you say caused that one? It was Das Alberg and Smitch Katzler, yeah? Yeah, okay, cool. So anyone who missed that, it sounds like a good one. I'm definitely going to be watching that after the show this evening. Go check that out. Drop them a follow as well, of course. Take your clips. Put those on the seasonal Discord. We've obviously got the clips for this week now, but in next weekend's game, make sure you take the take clips on Twitch and well, I was going to say and Billy B, but Trigger aren't in it anymore. Take your Twitch clips and put them on that channel. I always get it wrong. It's highlights, right? Replays is like the whole game. So if you want to see the whole games, go to the replays channel. You go to the highlights. You can put your clips there as well. Cole, did you see that game at all? Core 116. Obviously, you played 116 previously in the tournament.
Yeah, I only caught some of that game. I had to kind of scrub through it, but from I think Connection's whole breakdown seems accurate, and we played both those teams, and they're both really good. I expected 116 to put up a really good fight, and they did. Having played Core in the past, kind of seems typical from them, even against a good team. If you could be holding your own for a while, but as soon as they gain some momentum, it just multiplies. And if they get you on your back foot, it is nearly impossible to get out of that. We've been in the same boat where been comfortable for 10, 20 minutes, maybe even cap midpoint on them. But if they'll find a way in, and then once that happens and they've capped and they already have people at your next point, and it feels very overwhelming once you get in that position against them. But props to 116 for fighting it out for so long. It's no easy task.
Yeah, for sure. You said 18 minutes left in the game as well.
Yes.
So yeah, tough battle. Okay, so then on to what the hell Team Phoenix, as we've talked about Trigger and Blacklist, and maybe we'll finish with
which one are you finishing with?
The USA Derby, as we've got Cole here to talk about it. So we'll just talk quickly about what the hell Team Phoenix. So again, Team Phoenix, a team come all the way through from the qualifiers, kind of German-based team. I think there was talk at some point of them kind of going a bit more international, but for now they're still German. They have had quite a lot of kind of local success, I guess, like in the German league, but they've really come through to try and make their mark on the seasonal this year, and had a fantastic kind of a journey as well, coming right the way through, as I say, from the qualifying stage, and some difficult games on the way also. I mean, early on they played Finns Let Loose and lost against them, because Finns Let Loose have kind of come back really strong into this tournament this year, and then they won against that trio, 91 PTG and rest. And then coming through into the main stage, they started off with a really tough draw against Core, which unfortunately they lost. Then they played you guys, and you beat them there. The line did win against Core, against Team Phoenix on that one. But then Team Phoenix sending UFR out of the competition, and then winning that great game against STDB to stay in it and come through to the playoffs. So they've had a kind of very storied run to get here so far, but then obviously drawing a pretty tough one here against what the hell. Obviously they're all going to be tough at this stage in the contest, so there's kind of no getting out of that. But they put up a really great fight. So what the hell were USA, and Team Phoenix were Germany. The middle point, so they were playing on Purple Heart Lane, I should say. And they kind of had I don't know, like decent setup, I suppose, for the middle point. They had Grout Pillbox as the middle point, so not terrible for Team Phoenix. Could have been a lot worse, I would say. And then with Madeline Farm as their sort of second point, that sort of set them up potentially, like, it's kind of a lucky draw for them in terms of points, but right from the start, so what the hell sent there I think, I'm not sure if it's the supply truck or the troop transport truck, but they got a truck certainly stuck right at the start of the game, like within like a minute basically of the start of the game. We're having to kind of scramble, get another truck ready, etc. So you think, oh well, that would really cost them. But unfortunately, even though they had this kind of setback, Team Phoenix, their whole their like main troop transport truck got blown up as they got into Grout Pillbox, and that kind of set them back. I don't know, like two minutes or something. Like it was absolutely devastating right at the start, just before they all jumped out. Like literally every single person died, and it just gave that middle point straight away to what the hell. And they capped it very or relatively quickly. You know, like not too long at all, only just a few minutes, like 5 minutes or something like that, which is really short. They managed to then hold the what the hell players, the allies, off at Madeline Farm for a very long time. Basically the whole of the rest of the game almost, with what the hell pushing really hard from the front, pushing down the river to I guess I always get a bit turned around with some of the maps, but from the east side of the map they were kind of pushing along that river and not really having too much success, getting a lot of getting destroyed a lot basically by the artillery, and they had, you know, good shots in their artillery as well, but the artillery still able to put enough shells down to really kind of save Team Phoenix a few times, just killing the what the hell players over and over and over as they tried to push through those points. Then this kind of carried on for some time with, you know, the odd cap race going on at Madeline. Team Phoenix not really being able to kind of do much against the map control of what the hell. They didn't really get like a good push going back on Grout Pillbox, but with only about 20 minutes left or 25 minutes left, House Gangster managed to get around the back with
the cheekiest,
the cheeky little Garrison, which is kind of his classic move at this point. Everybody's I think there's a clip out there that's like, oh yeah, of course it's House Gangster in this supply truck. So he got right round the back, managed to kind of open up the game a little bit for them. It still took them a bit of a while to get going from that, but it did make it significantly harder for Team Phoenix because they now had to defend from two angles because they're getting flanked right round from the rear as well. And if you kind of know the map, there's like a canal area there to the, I suppose, southwest of the point. And yeah, it's hard to defend from that angle. And it's hard to get people over there to like clear that garrison out because it is the other side of, you know, a significant water hazard. You can drown quite easily in this game, and very easily on Purple Heart Lane, and very easily in that part of the map. So it does make it difficult to kind of defend against, and gives them a chance to open up the map, as I said. So they were pushing from both sides there, and then they almost accidentally got a 76 into the river over at Madeline Farm, and basically what that meant is that the angles that the Tigers had previously had to shoot at any tanks that were inside the point for what the hell were kind of just off now, and like this tank was like sitting almost like below the, not below the ground level, but like really close to ground level, and so they just didn't have an angle on it, and it was able to kind of hang out there in the point and help with the cap significantly. So after that initial cap, after the kind of mistake from Team Phoenix, or the unfortunate situation from them with their transport truck getting destroyed, it went to the 3-2, and then after a lot of fighting, a lot of kind of very good defending from Team Phoenix, but also you know, decent attacking and consistent pressure and good defensive map control from what the hell able to get the flank around the back, get that kind of last minute cap on Madeline Farmer and get the 4-1. Team Phoenix obviously going out of the contest. Everybody who loses or who lost last weekend goes out. And what the hell going through, as a lot of people would have probably predicted, through to the next round. In terms of what people did actually predict for that game, on the Discord, what the hell got 141 votes in the public vote, and Team Phoenix got 46. So firm favourites. What the hell? We've seen them play Purple Heart Lane a few times now. They're kind of veterans on it, although from the sound of Heidi after the game, perhaps he's a bit sick of it at this point. So maybe you won't see a Purple Heart Lane final, who knows. But please no. It's all right to watch. I hate playing it.
I saw them put Purple Heart Lane on their the map
Against EG, was
map
it?
phase, and I was, oh no, don't.
Yeah.
Just,
Please.
no more.
So open for like the RT snipes with the tank. Like obviously, we'll talk about this in a moment, but this is like becoming a big part of the game now. And yeah, a difficult map. Lots and lots of deaths going on in that game. We'll get to the stats in a little bit, but yeah, very very tough one. But what the hell, coming through with the kind of the fan favorite, the bookies' favourite, coming through with the win against Team Phoenix. But Team Phoenix, like, can't be understated how well they've done to get through to this stage of the competition and to put up the fierce defence that they did yesterday. It's not easy at all. I think it was Weltmeister commanding, so like massive hats off to them, and look forward to hopefully seeing them again next season, and to look out for what they do in the kind of upcoming league games and stuff. Definitely one to watch. And what a great game they had against STDB as well, like in the previous week, to get through to that stage. So
yeah, that was a banger. I'm really impressed by them. They've had, I think, the longest journey to this point out of any team, and I think they're similar in a way. They've lost some tough matches, but you can see the improvement just from match to match, and they work really hard. I've talked to them, when we played them and stuff, and they're definitely a team to look out for in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So then that brings us on to the I suppose the most important game, right, Cole, of the weekend here, which was the Line versus ESPT OPBHB, and what a game it was over on Hertgen. You guys were the Axis, right?
Yep.
So what happened? In your own words, what happened? You guys, you won. Spoilers, you won. And you're through to the next round, which is awesome. But how did you get there?
Yeah, I can walk us through it. We got a North Pass midpoint, which we were really happy about when we all entered the game and we're getting ready. We had just practiced that the day before. I think I mentioned that after the game against Core with some help from some other teams. So we had a pretty crisp opener. I think ESPT BHBOP's opener was really strong too. They played really aggressive on the point, but not only that, they played to cross the river and take that south control from the very beginning. But the lineup, I think, favored us, so we ended up capping midpoint.
Yeah, which was North Pass, right? So
North Pass,
like right on the edge of the map. Then you had Hill 15, which is also on that kind of northern edge of the map, and they had Vayback Overlook, which is also on the northern edge. So it's like a whole northern
northern stack, yeah, which is great. Probably the best setup for the tanks. And the nice part about the Hill 15 to North Pass is you saw we can park a Tiger on Hill 15 with great sight lines to cover defensively, and they're also there to cover our next point in a lot of ways and cover the flanks, which ESPT was doing all game. So that's why, in my eyes, it was a favorable setup for us. Not just because we practiced it, just because the way we like to play it, it suits us a little better. So yeah, after we were losing the mid cap a little bit, but we managed to grind it out and get some more bodies on hard cap and in sector. We've learned against ESPT and BHBOP that off the opener you have to balance playing for map control and for cap. So we did spread a little bit more than we might have against other teams to make sure that what happened on SMDM wouldn't happen, where we cap but with lacking map control and then get capped back on. So I think that worked out pretty well. And then from that point on, after capping midpoint, it was basically, it just felt like defend the whole time, hold on to what we could. We tried at several different points to put pressure on the next point, Waybach, but it was light pressure, and that was just our SLs and myself reading the game, and we don't want to allow them to take full control and not put any pressure on the next point, because that's just kind of asking to lose. It's giving them too much room to do whatever they want. And
they could just pressure you for hours and hours.
Yeah, and I think turtling like that too just puts the ball in there. It makes it so if we make one mistake, we'll lose it. And not keeping them honest is a big mistake in my eyes. So some light pressure there on Weibach, but it was nothing too serious, and that's just because we didn't want to overextend. We wanted to try to be opportunistic, but keep that midpoint at all costs, because we know we against a team like that would get punished if we tried to overextend too much. So grinding, they shifted their attack back and forth, whether it was that F4 lumberyard map control, which they did in several ways. Sometimes it was from the direct south, sometimes it was those wider flanks almost to Hill 15. They almost always had OP or garrison on our side of the river, so that threat was constant. And the group that was fighting for that area did a really good job. They got cleared out a few times, but immediately they would come back to re-clear, and it was this back and forth, this push and pull for a lot of that.
Yeah, they made you work for it, right? Over there at that kind of lumberyard area.
Yeah, they definitely did. They were always had presence there. They always had some of their best shooters there. Yeah, they absolutely made us work just to hold it. And basically, you want to hold that because you can get some MG set up, some riflemen, and do really nice crossfire onto North Pass on Allied side. But a lot of the time we weren't even able to do that. It was just keeping them off it so that we wouldn't get backstabbed and wouldn't get completely surrounded. So that happened. And also we saw that airhead moment, which was scary, in the smoke with that big push from the west side. And
yeah. So they kind of came down the hill right from way back, and they kind of moved into the buildings several times throughout the game. Actually, ESPT got into the buildings there, and it was either just almost like skin of your teeth defending with the infantry, or a combination of artillery, and then the legendary tank that ended up getting in there in the end. But yeah, they really tried to push, and like you say, there was a moment, wasn't there, with like smokes going down, and they dropped the airhead in the smokes. Not quite sure if it's been eliminated yet, or I was watching it. Me and all the people in chat are waiting for that thing to just sprout into a million ESPT players, because we can't see if it's been taken down or not. Obviously, you guys with the command chat, you kind of knew that it was gone at a certain point, but we was just still waiting there,
looking for it.
Where is it?
Yeah, there was a ton of scary moments, and there's that fighting on the south, but also our infantry up on the north side and on the hard cap pushing out west. They were grinding the entire time. It was the same deal, taking ground was exceptionally hard, and at certain points they got pushed all the way back, but they were able to hold it for the most part. And then there was that one very, very scary moment with nearly 90% cap, where we just kind of everyone. It was full reset, full defend, dogpile, and then Kalito in the tank.
Kalito in the tank. Oh my god.
Yeah, and that was a huge play.
That was literally like the play of the game, of the round for me, maybe of the tournament, possibly. That literally kept you guys in the tournament, in the final stages when it counted the most. All other avenues had been explored. You try to kill them off every single way. They're right there inside the building, inside the hard cap. I think you, maybe a couple other people are underneath the bridge, just trying to stay in the circle and stay alive, and get your capping power to actually sort of take some effect. But oh my god, just driving straight across the bridge, opening fire at point blank range into the house there.
Killing the guys who were, had that additional cap weight, and that was just huge. Massive play.
Huge. And so you managed to kind of fight them off. They had another couple of attacks, coming down from that kind of south area that you mentioned before, from the lumberyard, the wood piles, but they kind of weren't able in the end to make it count, despite Incheon's last minute bombing run, and them all charging down the hill, just trying to take you out. Amazing job defending. You obviously touched on it earlier. You kind of mentioned you played against them a couple of weeks ago. I know we spoke afterwards on the stream, because I was lucky enough to cast this game, but you learned quite a lot, it's fair to say, from that game, right?
Yeah, we definitely did. So one of the changes we made is kind of bolstering the defensive side of our team a little bit, which helped a lot. And, they were filling a lot of the gaps, kind of moving around the map as needed, which on that south side was especially important. And trying to catch those big flanks. We had a lot, that fight extended all the way back into our second point a lot of the time. So that change was good. Just making sure we tried to maintain as much of the flank control as possible. So we definitely learned that because we know, if they start slipping people in, it can be a huge problem against a team like that. So we learned from that, especially. I think again on the SMDM match, we didn't. We made the defense try and do too much and didn't help them out enough.
Yeah.
So that was a big change on our part, was being a lot more defensively minded.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I think most people in general would think of the line in some ways as like quite an attacking team. So seeing you defend in the way that you did yesterday was very interesting and good to see that you've got like that whole well-rounded, you can literally choose to defend and do like a top level defense as well. So that's cool to see, actually.
Yeah.
Now, Incheon came on the show here last week, and he said at that time that when ESPT in particular were kind of forming, I suppose, or reforming, or in their latest iteration, I think he was saying that they tried to learn quite a bit from What the Hell. So do you think that maybe playing against ESPT a couple of times, does that give you any kind of insight into strats that might be successful against a similar team, if they are a similar team to What the Hell?
Yeah, we're going to take, review the matches we played against them, and we're going to watch WTH matches all this week. And I think that playing them has given us a lot of insight on a similar play style. I wouldn't say it's exact, but definitely similar. And we'll be probably, making a few changes here and there to apply what we've learned and do our best against WTH.
Yeah. So the last thing to kind of mention about this game maybe is something that we've been seeing quite a lot. Tank snipes on the artillery. So this is kind of turning into like a new meta. I'm not sure it's going to go anywhere until the devs like change something drastically about the game design. But it seems like the line are kind of leading the way. Are you guys? How much time are you dedicating to this kind of thing? Do you think this is going to stay in the game? Like, what's your feelings about tank snipes? And if you hadn't have had the tank snipe that you had yesterday, do you think you would have won the game?
I think that first question depends on the map and on how difficult the tank snipe is, and that will say how much time we have to spend. We have a couple of people, Kalito, Mage, and a lot of others who spend time, in admin cam testing out these shots. So huge credit to them. As to whether we would have won that game without the tank snipe, I want to say that probably would have lost it at certain moments there and been in a way tougher position. So that was definitely a huge bolster to us and something we needed, because we needed every advantage we could get against them. Credit to the guy who was doing it too, Mr. Z. He learned it, and he's done that before for us, coming in and doing it. He's very, very good at lining those up once we teach it to him, and he'll come in and do it and execute it really well. So I don't know how long it'll be in the game. I know there's been talk from the devs about changing how artillery works in general, which I'm looking forward to. But as long as it's the way it is, I think it will be the meta and competitive, just because if you can do it and squeeze out that extra advantage, there's no reason not to.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's got like way fewer factors that can go wrong than sending people to kind of do it by hand. And it only takes one player, or possibly two to help line it up, kind of thing. But like if you can find those spots, then it's definitely been very powerful. Obviously, you had a good one as well on Saint-Marie de Mont when you played against ESPT before. I know that Incheon inferred, I guess, that they'd kind of lent towards Hertgen as a forested map, thinking, there's a lot of hills, there's a lot of trees, maybe it's less likely to get a tank snipe. Do you think there's a map that maybe is safe from tank snipes on the artillery? Is Hill 400 the only one, or?
I think Hill 400, I don't think there's one on that map. And then actually the match we have upcoming SMDM Allied side, I don't
Mhm.
think can be sniped just because of that massive beachhead hill and then the defilade where the on
Yeah,
the
down
beach
on
where
the
the guns
beach
are.
where the guns
Yeah.
are. Yeah.
But people
Well,
said
there's no-
Hurricane wasn't possible. So.
Yeah, I was about to say there isn't a tank snipe yet.
Yeah.
Until someone figures it out.
Yeah,
hopefully
right.
we can scare WTH with this, talking about it this way.
Yeah, there's not one yet, right?
Everyone's going to be out on their lock servers now.
They already are, dude. They already are. This is like where the game's going now. There's at some point, I said before, at some point it's just going to be like people lining up guns to shoot other guns to shoot other guns that shoot other guns that shoot, and everyone's just going to be like a one man on in a tank or in a AT gun, and then the two commanders will just meet with knives in the middle and decide it. Like,
yeah, that's what we've thought about. If there's a set spot that most teams know for the tank snipe, then will you have somebody on an AT gun just shooting a marker on the map, and it could just go on and on. And
yeah.
ESPT was sending little demolition crews back to our HQ all game and they successfully satcheled Mr. Z in the tank shot, or in the already shot tank a few times. But the downside of that is, if they die, they have to come all the way back from a long way off, and he can just reposition in a new tank. So we'll probably see some crazy stuff happening in the future of Hell Loose in that regard.
It amazes me at how people find all this, or like getting on people's roofs and stuff. How do you even spend time finding that?
How do you know where to look? Yeah.
I'm sure struggle to get medic level 5. Do you know what I mean? And you guys are
Yeah. I sometimes question the lengths we go for those sort of things too, but
yes.
But when it pays off, and it definitely looked like it was helping you out yesterday, and your artillery in turn was kind of being fairly successful and getting some good shots out to help out on North Pass and to help you with the to clinch the victory from that one. So the line going through.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Onwards
Definitely
and upwards.
The underdog story so far. So that was a huge win for us, and I know our guys were super excited because I know I did the shout outs yesterday, but there's been so many guys on the team that have just put in so much work over these past few months consistently. And then not only that, but making plays in game. I could list them all off, but I just want to shout out the core group of our team who does all that day in and day out.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, like from our point of view as casters, like that goes for most, if not all, of the teams that have been in the tournament. I forget who it was, who was the commander who was like, "Oh yeah, I don't even watch the seasonal. What's the next game?" But like for the most part, massive effort and huge kind of dedication and commitment from all the teams here, and especially these teams
definitely.
kind of getting through to this top level. Because we've seen, with the way that the tournament's been laid out, some really great games with some fairly kind of even matchups, but we're really getting up to the very top level of How Let Loose in the world right now. And to get up to that level and to be where you guys are, like you say, with your kind of your story of like how you've kind of got through, and PHX as well with their story as well, as you mentioned before, to kind of get through to this top tier level is very impressive. And it takes a lot of dedication and time, and so massive shout out to all of the players for sure. It probably won't be the first time we say that either. Okay, so only 4 games this weekend just gone, but the winners again were Core over 116, Blacklist over Trigger with the elimination, boo. Then the line with an amazing grind, well-deserved win against CSPT BHBOP to leave them as the only North American team in the tournament going forward. And then What the Hell versus PHX with What the Hell coming out victorious. So the games coming up, we'll touch on those before we do the stats, I think, just because there's only a couple of them. We've got Core and Blacklist emerging as the winners from the games just played, coming now to play each other, and we've had the ban wave on both of these games, which is great. So we kind of know where they're going to be playing already. Connection, are you able to get that up on your Discord?
Yep. So the first one, you got Core versus Blacklist. It will be full on Hergen Forest. Core will be taking Axis. Blacklist will be taking. Core will be taking Allies. Sorry. Fuck me. Sorry.
You guys are
Core,
frozen on the thing.
but Axis, Blacklist are Allies. Done.
We've got a very
I
very
frozen?
contemplative connection here as like a frozen image. Love that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Your
Oh yeah, that's fine.
camera's not
I don't
working
know
for
what's
some
going
reason.
on.
It will sort itself out in a minute. Yeah, so have we already got some public votes coming in for that one as well?
Core
Or
are
not
already
really
on
yet?
87, and Blacklist are on 35 already.
Okay, so I mean a clear favourite kind of emerging there. They have played already in the tournament. They played at Samurai Glees, Blacklist as the Axis, Core as allies. They got checkpoint down the bottom there. It was an absolute grind. It still takes the lead of all the games for like the highest deaths in a game. It was absolutely brutal, and I think whatever happens between those two teams, like it's going to be a pretty hardcore battle. Have you got any insight for this one, Cole? Who do you reckon is going to come out on top?
I do have to say I think it's going to be Core for this one. Blacklist, very strong team, but Core has that Axis side, and having played against both teams now, I would definitely give them the edge.
Yep, for sure. How about you, Connection?
Well, I'm still waiting for this upset. Now, I'm not too sure if the upset was the Trigger and Blacklist elimination, or it will be the Core Blacklist. But I have said last week that I would like to see Blacklist in the finals. So I am going to go with Blacklist.
Nice. I think like well, I feel like Blacklist haven't convinced me because they didn't beat Trigger. If they beat Trigger to get here, then I would be the same as you, and I'd kind of be well up for the upset. It's hard to say, like having seen what I've seen from them so far, that they're going to beat Core. I'm kind of, in some ways, I'm kind of rooting for them, but at the same time, I think probably Core is going to win it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it always comes down to other things. Depends on the points. Like, if they get their truck stuck by accident in the first minute of the game or something, or just like a nice artillery shell to blow up a transport truck or something, can change everything. But I reckon Core, they're the fan favorites for a reason, I guess.
I think with Core, you have to be careful when you're playing them, as if the point is favouring them, make sure you've got someone on your next point, because they get set up for that quick attack. They, as soon as they cap, or they're sometimes they're not even capping that third point, but they've got infantry already ready to put garrisons down for that fourth point. So you just have to be careful of that. For Blacklist, that's probably one hint I'm gonna say. But Core, once they take a point, or when they feel like now's the time we're gonna take, that's when you need to be very, very careful. Because you see it like what we did on the weekend against 116.
They just have such good like pressure game.
Yeah,
like when if
attack.
you attack them, they like somehow absorb it, and it just like takes all of that. I don't know. I swear there's like some kind of like Street Fighter character. Do you know what I mean? It's like you punch them, and they're like made of rubber, and your fist like bounces around and hits you. Kind of like your guys. Oh yeah, we've like pushed through into this new sector. Okay, well they've just like allowed you into an area where they're like cattling you or whatever, and then they've moved into your point because that's like opened up some new avenue for them to attack you.
Blacklist needs to be careful when and where they attack from, because if they attack at the wrong time, they'll get punished. If they attacking from an area that they don't physically need to be in at that certain time, they will get punished. And I think, like you said, if you can push Core back as much as possible, like 116 did, and they did have two opportunities to cap Rue, but they just didn't use it to their full advantage. They didn't get enough bodies on. I think we could be in for a very good game, but Blacklist needs to be on their best game ever. But I still think
I agree with that, and I'll root for them as underdogs. But having played against Core a few times, you were exactly right. Connection. It's you have to maintain your composure and you have to respond quickly, defensively and for map control. If you slip up even a little bit, Core will be there flooding in. Just the nature of how their players play and also their overall strategy of shifting players around to rush through any holes you have and map control and just completely take over.
Yeah, and Havel flexing as well in the chat. I see about how they might bother to field a good team. They've got the resources there with like such a lot of good shooters, like good tanks, good artillery, to be able to be short of a couple players, and maybe it's not such a big problem for them. Looking at the other game, your game, the Line versus What the Hell, there were a couple players missing, maybe because of Mother's Day in the USA yesterday. Will there be players missing in this game? Is this one of the games? Can you flex like Havold and say, oh well, we can have a whole team full of recruits and we're still going to win this one, or are you going to field your best against What the Hell?
Well, for the seasonal, we're always trying to field our best roster that we can, but we're just, we're always not at 100%, if I can say that, and that's just because people have lives and stuff, and
it's a war. People get injured.
Yeah, exactly. So we're used to just making the best with what we have. It's just the nature of a 50 player team and trying to organize it all. We'll do our best to field our strongest team, of course, but already I think we'll be missing a few people as usual. But I don't think that'll stop us from trying our absolute best and fighting hard against them.
Yeah, for sure. Are we going to see Streets this weekend? Maybe that's a question for Streets in chat.
Yeah,
are you playing? Are you playing? Are we going to see Mr. Do as well?
Yeah, can you sub him? Can you put him on a bench? Mr. Do and his tanking squad. Just put him on a bench.
Yeah, I think I might tank this week and show him a few things.
Yeah, okay, smart. Good idea. Okay, but yeah, in all seriousness, playing What the Hell, one of the best teams in the tournament. Have you got any kind of... You're probably not going to share your deepest, darkest strats with us here, but have you got anything that you're kind of bearing in mind when you go into this game against What the Hell?
Yeah, so it's going to be us on Axis playing on Utah Beach. Funnily enough, we've played that 3 times in a row in the main stage. Trigger, then PHX, then 1/16th. So I was kind of getting meme dom for the map bans during that time because it was just the same old. But that being said, we got to practice this map inside a lot against really good teams and learn a ton. So we'll probably just be getting together, reviewing everything we've learned from that. On the other side of that, WTH has plenty of video to watch on us playing that map inside, so we have to keep that in mind.
That's true.
It's ridiculous how many people watched other games, previous games, just to see.
It is, but like we've talked about earlier, the amount of work every team puts in, I'm not too surprised. I always expect people to be studying up. We know from experience that there's the hard point is Chapel, so we'll just be hoping it's not Chapel off the rip because that's very Allied sided. But if it is, we'll have a game plan for playing around that. And without giving too much away, we'll just be trying to apply all the stuff we've learned through this tournament on that map inside, and maybe come out with a few new surprises as well.
Yeah, for sure. Have you got a what do they call it, like a wing back, like somebody who's keeping up the house gangster watch back on the on the previous sector?
Yeah, it's probably gonna be me in this case because I've been running with defense and trying to help them out. I know against the SPT it was the Digi Shadow Watch because he's their big flanker. So maybe I'll run into him a few times. I know I ran into Digi plenty this last game.
I saw you run into Digi quite a few times. I think we might even have a clip of that later on. So.
Oh man, like out in such deep flank areas too, where I'm like just trying to put a garrison down, and he's in the woods.
And he's there just chilling in the woods. Yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this game because I think you guys have had some really great opportunity to get a bunch of experience that is probably very relevant against What the Hell. And I think, you know, with the combination that you've got with like very strong tanks as well, I think that that's something that perhaps What the Hell, that will be maybe the weakest part of their game at the moment. And I think that it'll be really interesting to see if they can kind of be brought to bear in a way that's really, really effective. So yeah, I think this is going to be a banging game, the Line versus What the Hell. I'm not going to lie. Core Blacklist, again, like I say, the last one they had on Summer Eglise is the highest killing game of the entire seasonal so far. So that is also going to be an absolute savagery. And, you know, Connection, you mentioned about Blacklist need to attack in the right areas and be careful where they attack. If they could just launch an attack this time, it'll be good. They had a back garrison up the entire game, and not a single person, I think, spawned on it the entire time because they were just having to defend with everything they had, right down to the 4-1 at full time. So hopefully that they can get something going. But the Line, What the Hell, I think, you know, if you're looking for a real nail biter this weekend,
It's going to be a good one.
this is going to be the one for me.
I do not think any of these games will be a 5-0, and if it is a 5-0, how?
It's
have
only
you
going to be a
watched that? How
5-0,
have you done it?
like,
Yeah,
because they
if something
commit to
really
the
fucks
crazy
up.
play in the last like 5 minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
the Line in their previous game against ESPT, that was a 5-0, but that's because these guys were literally attacking until the very last second. I'm sure they probably could have held Barn for another. I think the game was like 5-0 with like 20 seconds left in the match or something. Do you know what I mean? So I'm sure they could have held it for another 20 seconds, but just going for that last attempt to like flip the whole game. You have to when you're at this stage in the contest. So
I was telling the team at that point, you know, let's play to win here. Who cares if we're already losing? You know, you have nothing to lose at that point. 5-0 versus 4-1, but you got to give yourself a chance to actually
to get
the
a
win.
3-2, because you could have if that had just been a couple seconds different or things had played out slightly different, you could flip the whole game. So again, the Line, one to watch because they won't stop playing until the end of the match. Neither will What the Hell. I know House Gangster, he's going to be furiously driving around trying to drop supplies everywhere, and you know, they're going to be grinding with their best players. I know as well, like, they maybe didn't have their full roster out last weekend, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be bringing out the big guns for this one. They're going to want to put you guys in the bag, as it were, and get this one kind of squared away. So it's going to be a really, really great game. I'm definitely
I
looking
just
forward to
hope
it.
that they're both not played at the same time. It's
Yeah,
I
they
want
will
them.
be. They will
Yeah,
be.
like I think Core and Blacklist have already got their team game set up, and that's for everyone else. But that's 7:30 UK time. It would be great to have it, I don't know, at 5, and then you can, or 6, sorry, and then you can just watch all of it, and then you just binge. I think, but that's up to the team reps. That's up to everyone else. But for a viewer as well, just to be able to watch all of the
For
game,
sure, to watch that through would be
fresh as
awesome.
well. No spoilers.
Well, we'll see.
Great.
Is there a public vote already on the Line, What the Hell, on the Discord?
There is, and it's quite close as well. TL with 20, WTH with 27, and hold up, 28 now. I've just voted.
Oh right, well I better get. I can't change my Discord screen because it'll make you guys disappear from the stream. But I'm gonna go and vote for TL after I finish this, just to even that back up. Cancel you out there, in the spirit of fair play. But yeah, so awesome stuff. We don't know who's casting the games as usual. Like, we don't know that until like the day before, basically, or the Thursday. But do keep an eye out on the seasonal Discord. That will be kind of announced, and the links to the streams of those games will be on the individual pages that are like linked to the games. So keep an eye out for that. I'm sure whoever gets picked is going to be, like, you know, suitable for the task, and they'll definitely be worth a watch. You know, both sides from both of these games. So make sure you go check those out. Of course, we will be here again next Monday as well. If you do miss them and just want the I'm gonna say the quick recapping, but we always take flipping ages on this show. It's never quick. But in the interest of kind of pace and keeping things going, let's go and have a look at some of these stats from last week. Obviously, fewer games played this weekend, so some of the stats like participants for the weekend, you're going to think, well, that's not very many, but obviously only, well, realistically 3 games. There were supposed to be 4, but we didn't even manage to get 4. So we'll start off with last week's top killer per game. So for each game, we will do the top killer for each team. All good.
TL's logo is flipped.
Oh yes, LT. Nice.
Yeah, LT.
Okay. Well,
Or
I will.
JT.
I'll fix it on the final poster when it goes up on the Discord.
Justin
But I can't.
Timberlake, let's go.
I can't change it right now.
No worries.
These things happen.
I
But
just
good
know
spot.
someone's in the chat going to say it.
Yeah. No, good spot. But yeah, I'll flip that before I post this. You can go and check this page once it's all filled in. Like you'll see, we reveal all the stats as we go. But once it's all filled in, you can go and find that on the posters channel on the Discord. If you kind of wanted to look at it. Okay, so for each game, we're going to do the top killer from each team. So top killer in the first case from ESPT and LT over here, and it's not going to be artillery, it's not going to be tanks, it's only like infantry for the top killer per game. So getting started, we've got from LT, TL, Chicken Waffles with the G43. What are we saying?
60.
Boom. 88.
Yeah, he had a great game for sure. He was one of the squad leads fighting for that south area pretty much the entire game.
Yep, so kind of defending on your side of the river, and just killing. I don't know. We can kind of delve into the stats a little bit. To be fair, not that we want to take obviously as long as we sometimes do in this show, but his victim, Chicken and Waffles, kind of main. His victim was Takahara, who he killed 11 times. So.
Who's another insanely good shooter.
Exactly. So you can see on the game when you watch it that like up in that southern area by the lumber mill, both teams sending their best players, their best squads up there, having literally like a absolute meat grinder the entire game. So then from ESPT, OPBHP, we've got Soviet Slug, who was also up in that area fighting against Chicken and Waffles the other way, who got 80 kills, mainly with the M1 go round.
Wow.
So like huge number of kills up in that kind of area by the lumber mill. I mean, this is only 2 of them. Like looking at the other games or the other stats from the game, High Speed Hilly from ESPT got like 77 kills. You've got Civs as well from the line who got 84. So Civs getting even more kills than Soviet Slug, who's the top player for ESPT. So loads and loads of like high kill infantry players in that game, especially like you say in that southern area. Now moving on to Team Phoenix and What the Hell. From What the Hell, we have What the Hell's Recruit Abused Pants. Now you might think Recruit, well, where's he come from? Like just some noob with a machine gun, but actually Abused Pants has been around for some time and kind of only just coming back really to What the Hell, as it were. Hence the Recruit, but a very experienced player and a machine gunner, bagging 91 kills with that
on
M1919.
Purple Heart Lane.
Yeah.
I feel like that's quite impressive.
Just lay in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Just
lazy. Extremely lazy, but
Soul Raver in the chat from Team Phoenix says those MGs PTSD.
I think PHL is a dream map for MGs in my opinion. They're just craziest sightlines that you can get. If you can get good at those long range shots, it's insane.
Yeah, and if you can keep those tracers under control, you can really stay hidden quite well because of like the weird textures and like the fog and everything. So
yeah.
Okay, so then for Team Phoenix, we've got Kaiser, MTBB with the MG42. Again, machine gunner. So with 77 kills the other way, still pretty impressive by anybody's standards.
Yeah, seriously, that is very impressive, especially being on the the losing end and getting pushed so hard. And I'm sure WTH knows a lot of the good MG spots, both teams, but it's not so easy. So That
Yeah, for
is
sure.
really impressive.
And really impressive artillery as well. We kind of get onto that in due course, but like massive amount of artillery kills in that game from both sides, PHX and What the Hell, getting really good artillery kills. But some kind of shout outs as well. Reform Gamer with 72 kills with an M1 Garand, 91 kills altogether. Fizzg with 87 kills altogether, 80 of which were with the M1 Garand. Then you've got literally, I don't know, 5 or 6. You've got Harris, Woot, Jockey, Duber, Talar, Lochner, Bohemian Cynic, all with like 75, 60, 65, those kind of level of kills. You got PHX Limit, got Shumberto, like an Opa from Team Phoenix as well, with a good number of kills, around 50 kills each. So really high killing game, but very, very strong arty in that one, which we kind of touch on soon, hopefully. So now on to the 116 Greyhounds versus Core. We've got him from Core, who anybody who's played against Core when they're fielding their, a good team, you'll know him or him.
He's been on there for a while, hasn't he?
Oh, just
seen him a few times.
Just stay out of the way, basically, when he's coming through, because with the G43, he's managed to get 66 kills in the game. Very, very accomplished player, and actually in this game, quite a lot fewer kills overall than the other games. Not quite sure why that is. Maybe some people in chat have an idea why there's like 100 less or 100 fewer kills in this game rather than the other ones, or even more. But yeah, really, still, a lot of kills there, and with a decent kill death ratio as well, and Yo2 high as well for Core, getting almost the same, but just with even fewer deaths. Then for the 116 Greyhounds, we've got Zark with the M1 Garand with 64 kills. So again, pretty even stuff. Like we said earlier on how the games at this level in the tournament and really throughout have been pretty even, but you can see that at the top level here, there's only like 10 or 20 difference between the two teams, and kills, as anyone who plays this game knows, like aren't the be all and end all anyway. It's interesting to see. It's kind of fun for us to do for the stats, but oftentimes leaving somebody to run past you to then go take their OP is kind of the more effective thing to do. So
Zark was up there last week with 75 kills as well.
Yeah,
so that's
and
twice.
him's been up as well before. Soviet Slug's been up before. Chicken and Waffles might have been up before as well, for top killer. So
he's usually up there for us. I don't know if he's been on the board yet, but he's generally one of our top killers, at least in the top 10 for us.
Yeah, for sure. Chicken and Waffles. Yeah, I think sometimes we've had Streets come up for you guys quite a few times. Trying to think who else, but he might have come up before. But well done to all of those players. Obviously, absolutely smashing it, shooting the crap out of each other. So
Street's got the first place in top kills in main stage. He got 459,
which is ridiculous.
He's top notch.
I'm actually quite surprised that the highest kill was only 66 high, even though it was against Semiracles and Cemetery, being quite a tight game, but maybe it was just more arty and tanking.
Yeah, I mean, they're quite even, that's the thing, so I guess it's just like the pace of the game. Slightly different, but yeah, I mean, some of these, like the ESBT line game, like that had, tank snipes on the RT in it as well, kind of thing, so that adds to the kills quite considerably, as we'll see in a minute. So for Trigger and Blacklist, obviously they didn't compete or did not finish. So we'll go over to this week's top kill streaks. This one we do include artillery, and this week our top kill streak is Vicox on What the Hell's Artillery with 80, very respectable.
That's good. I think that's the top that we've seen for RT.
Well, no.
Oh, for
Besides
WTH.
Chucky, yeah.
Sorry, for WTH.
Yeah, I was going to say, because
Yeah.
Core are way ahead,
Oh
as we'll
yeah,
see
they were like
later on.
200 something.
That's right. So then we saw PHX Tatara on the RT as well, with 66, which again is quite a lot. I'm sure you'll agree.
Yeah. I think that both teams kind of pressured each other's already more than that core and trigger game. I feel like in the core and trigger game where Chucky did that, it was kind of free reign for artillery for a lot of it.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Those were the
I
crazy
mean,
numbers.
they literally had like uncontested artillery in that
Yeah,
game,
they
so
just
it's
took
going
it
to
on the
stay
chin.
as a stay as a anomaly, I think, until the end. I highly doubt that we're going to see anything to compete with that. But Jagged from What the Hell also on artillery with 58 kill streak as well. So very impressive stuff from the What the Hell artillery. And I did say before that you know, there were a lot of artillery kills in that What the Hell and Team Phoenix game. They, you know, from both teams, you can see that like they both basically put in the work with the artillery. But some kind of honourable mentions, I guess. We should shout out Captain Benfield from What the Hell as well. Who got like 97 artillery kills, 98 kills altogether. Who else? We've seen Jagged already. Yeah, Tatara, Captain Germany, Vicox. So very nice stuff from them on the artillery, and a very savage artillery game. If you go and watch it, like or see some of the clips that come later on, you'll see that it was just basically relentless artillery shelling the entire time, and very, very accurate, some of it. Just killing people on their OPs, and then the next spawn wave and any stragglers as well. And yeah, so really brutal stuff. Moving over to last week's top tanking squads then. Guess who's first?
Gotta be Mr. Do.
Oh,
It has to be.
They're
I
at
don't
it
think his
again.
ego can take it at this point if he's not anymore.
He says it's going to explode at this point. I should have trolled and like put it in reverse order. But 89 kills between them. Bossman, Mr. Do, and Atrocity in the tank crew for the line. 3 weeks in a row?
Yeah, they were top last week. And
4 weeks?
Yeah.
Maybe even 4 weeks in a row now. Top tank
probably
squads.
from the beginning that we started doing stats.
Yes. Very, very impressive. The next one, 116 Beaker with 69 kills.
It's a Beaker in his team. Nice.
That's impressive.
No,
you know,
that's
not
one
full
guy.
match. Oh,
That's
okay.
Guess what's happening here, guys? Top tanking
that's gotta be an
squads,
already
one
shot.
guy. Oh yeah. This is what we're seeing now. This is what I'm saying about this is the new meta emerging, because then the next one below that is Mr. Z or Mr. Z by himself in the lines tank sniping the artillery, who got 64.
Do we have any Greyhound guys in here? Is Beaker the RT snapper?
Yeah, I mean Havold says Beaker snipe the RT. Yeah, you can.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, was just sitting in the tank sniping the RT, and the same for Mr. Z. And to great effect, as you can see, putting them here as the top tanking squads, or top like 2 and 3. But massive credit to Bossman, Mr. Do, and Atrocity, because you know they actually had to like come under quite a lot of fire to get the 89 there, and really be doing like tanking, not just kind of sitting there shooting the artillery. But
well, they're only 2 kills away from their previous last week, where they got 91.
Yeah. So maybe we should do like 2 in the future. We should do like 2 rounds of tanking, so it can be like solo tankers sniping artillery as their own category, and then tank squads who are kind of like out there doing tanky stuff.
But I like the fact that last week they had 91. Sorry, the previous week they had 91. Last weekend they had 89, and now it's coming up to the WTH game where I feel like maybe you might get maybe 40. I'm hoping
40.
I really need about 40.
Well, maybe if the What the Hell server fails again, I don't know.
Oh.
All right, so let's get on to the top victims before we fall out. Right, Core and Icarus. Core Icarus died to Beaker, as we've seen Beaker sniping the artillery. So Icarus on the guns died 31 times.
That's called determination, perseverance, right there.
Yes.
He's probably running to get like one shot off on the gun
Literally.
and then getting blown up.
Or maybe even a loader. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Just
yeah.
literally running and loading and not even firing a gun. So fair play to all of these artillery players. You know, they do very well with the kill streaks. People hate them in general, but we always do try and point out that they do get absolutely slapped about back there. So the next one, Henning B, again, an RT guy for Core, dying to Beaker.
Oh, dear.
Oh, gosh.
A modest 30 times.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Oh, not too bad. And then we've got, what the hell, DL dying to PHX Tatara. So dying to artillery this time. 26 times.
Sounds like PHL to me. That's my experience on PHL, at least.
Yeah, DL as well was just like lying, like trying to hide, like in the point, just like get right up close and then like get in there and yeah, got shot by RT a bunch. So yes, Tatara there, as we saw, Tatara on the artillery for PHX in the top kill streaks with 66 on the kill streak, 26 of those maybe on DL. So fair play DL for getting up and respawning and trying again. It still doesn't come close to the what was it, Groot? He died like 123 times in an hour and a half or something.
We have to give him a shout out at the end of the
every week we just have to like raise a glass. Yeah, we will never forget you or whatever. Okay, so last week's stats combined, the participants, we have 295 players. From that, we have 9,590 kills, so actually quite a lot of kills, a high average for the games. Normally it's around 2,900, like 2,900, 3,000, so you can see just from these 3 games to get 9,590, slightly above average. The team kills that we've had are 220, so pretty good ratio there. Acceptable losses, as we say on the recapping. Satchel kills versus team kills, we had 81 players die to satchels and 13 friendlies die to satchels. Always quite high on the old collateral kills, the satchel plays. But
pretty bad.
we like to see them nevertheless. Yes, that ratio is not quite so great when you look at it next to like the kills overall and the team kills overall. You think, yeah, that's not too bad, but satchel's quite a high percentage risk of kind of killing off your whole team there. Go on.
Asify again.
Yes, yeah,
I
of
see
course.
Soul Raver, yeah.
Yeah, you know, Ossify, I've changed it like permanently now, so Ossify bringing us the stats again this week. Massive thanks to him. About to change his name. So yeah, so the satchel kills that we're talking about there, that's 13.8%. If you're wondering, 81 to 13.
A lot, yeah.
So it's quite high. Vehicle kills versus team kills over here. I was hoping Soul Raver would see that because he's been rinsing me for it the whole time. So then vehicle kill to T kills, we got 745 vehicle kills to 34. So much more sensible.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, only 4.4% team kills there. So that certainly is acceptable losses. And then road kills to team kills. What do we say, guys? You know, stop running each other over. Just give the truck a chance to stop.
No, there's more. I'd believe that though, because it's hard to roadkill an enemy a lot of the time. You know.
Yeah, but it's easy to jump out of the truck while it's still moving and walk into the side of it. So that's a 60% team kill ratio, in case you were wondering there. So quite high. Slightly higher, I think, than the overall tournament ratio there, but still pretty average. Is a team kill if you run yourself over our Soul Raver? I don't know. We'll have to test that out. I don't know if it is.
Actually, thinking of it, it wouldn't be, would it?
I don't think it is.
I don't think so either. I don't think it's counted towards that.
Yeah.
But you can definitely get run over even getting in the truck sometimes as a passenger, and then when you get out, puts you in the front.
Yeah, sorry, not 60%, but like it's 160, right? So it's like over the 100%. So next one, participants in the seasonal so far, to kind of get us into the home straight of the stats here. 1,747 players played so far. Thank them all for coming along. I mean, a lot of those guys, you know, we've slimmed that field of 1,747 down to 295. It's slimmed down even further now, but you know, it's been an amazing journey to get here, and thank you to all of the people who have played and continue to play for giving us these awesome games, dedicating their time to it. They've done a pretty good job of killing each other, let's be honest. 126,643 kills.
Fucking hell.
Wow.
That's...
I would love to see that compared to some of the historical battles. I know you guys talked about that last week.
Is
Yes.
that
well,
right?
What's that, 126,000? That's for
Yeah,
the whole
last week-
seasonal.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Fuck.
Not just main stage, that's like all of it.
Yeah, I was looking at main stage. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay, so then highest casualty match, still. Let's like move our little guys out of the way here. Still Core versus Blacklist, the game I was talking about earlier. 3,925 kills. So if what I was saying earlier about 3,000 or 2,900 is average, you can see that basically 1,000 extra kills. Ridiculous.
That's wild.
Combined hours played. So this is like everyone who's participated, for a total of 5,892 hours, which is, what else could we achieve, guys, if we all work together for that long? Who knows? We won't go into that. Then team kills before we get too carried away and like all leave to go and I don't know, cure cancer or fix climate change. Team kills 2,546. So looking at that as the percentage is much more, you know, much more respectable than what we've had with the row kills.
Cosmos, TL combined hours debriefing.
That's good.
And then top kill streak still, Core Chucky, 231 in that fateful game against Trigger, where Trigger basically just accepted that RT existed.
Pour another one out for group, guys.
Yeah. It was a
I don't
fact
think
of life
anyone
in that
is going to
game.
get better than that.
If they do, something's gone wrong, I feel like, with the with either the game or like the team selection or something. Like, I can't imagine a final where What the Hell and Core, or you know, TL and Blacklist or something like this. How the hell would that ever happen? I don't know. But again, this is why, you know, I'm so sad to see the back of Trigger, because they are one of these top tier teams. Like, they could have been here. That could have been a possibility. Like, imagine if that was the final. Like,
I think if I was
crazy.
Trigger and I was the anti-arty guy, that would have been the worst job of that game, because the scream of people in your ear, get that bloody arty down.
Dude, I don't think they had anybody. They tried for a bit and then just were like, do you know what? There's just no point anymore. Like, just come on the attack with everybody else. Just suffer the pain with the rest of us, and we'll let you off.
I'd have changed community. I'd have been out.
Changed career. Fucking uninstall the game. Yeah, like just go and take a walk outside or something. Yeah, Quickness says Trigger didn't have an anti-arty guy. Yeah, exactly. 5-head.
Then you deserve that.
They just ran through it. They just accepted that artillery was a fact of life, like gravity, or, you know, you need to eat. There is artillery dropping constantly from the sky. That's how it is. Let's just run forward, and that's what they did. And my God, it was a
I think that
bloodbath.
says a lot about Trigger as a team, that they were just willing to grind that hard, and that they still did. You know,
well, we worked it out on the stream. Absolutely, we worked it out on the stream, and I think somebody said that Groot spent like 40 minutes in the redeploy screen. Yeah,
Yeah.
He
Like,
saw he played half the game.
literally half the game and a black screen saying, like, you are dead, do you want to redeploy? And he still
And
pressed yes.
That fills in with what Soul Raver just said. Be a man. And the only man in this game is Groot.
That's very true.
Everybody else is like a child compared with that man. Like,
He's like Godfather.
literally the Groot father.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, awesome. Thank you to Abusify. Thank you to Jane. So much for the stats. Like, Abusify is literally amazing. Jane's been helping out for the last couple of weeks as well, getting us these on time so we can fill them all out for you. Obviously, we've tried to do like quite a few, so they've been massively helpful trying to get them to us kind of early, so we can do quite a lot of stats and kind of try and make it good for you guys. And thanks and respect to all the players featured, of course. Well done. Well done. And commiserations to all of the top victims. I mean, we can briefly talk if you want about the the top victims and things. So DKB tumbling for the tournament with the top death streak, 35.
Wow.
Yeah, followed by Tobilot from Team Phoenix with 33. What the hell, excessive, died 30 times in a row. Underneath Chucky, Harold, who was also an RT guy in that same game, has got a 205 kill streak from that same game. But below that, you'll be interested to know that Zaphod from the line has a 117 kill streak.
Yeah.
Wow. I wonder, was that on Foy? Maybe against EG?
Quite possibly.
Must have been, I think.
We'll have to look more deeply through the stats to figure out exactly where that one came from. But then, yeah, Kai Brush from Core. We've got German on the RT as well. Vicox from What the Hell on the RT. Bossman in the tank with 79 kill streak. So very impressive people with the kill streaks. Most casualties per minute. Kind of interesting stats here. Maybe for the full tournament is Trigger versus Core. That game that we were talking about with 75.4 casualties per minute. Almost a whole server wipe. Or like 3/4 of the server sent back to the menu every minute. Then Core versus Blacklist with the second of the tournament with 73.5 kills a minute, and then 116 the line with 67.3. We've kind of got the overall percentages for, let's say, satchel kills. 1,023 satchel kills overall, with 197 being team kills, so 16.1% the ratio there. So how does that add up to what we've had just this week? Pretty similar.
I think it's similar, yeah.
It was 13% or 13.8% this week, I think. So this and this week that we've just played, we've had some other interesting stats, I guess. The most deaths by explosive, always an interesting one. What the hell, DP died 43 times to explosives, so that's getting just blown up by anything except artillery, grenades, satchels.
Probably tanks too.
Rockets, tanks, yeah, all that.
Yeah.
So APK as well, dying 39 times to explosives. CQB 39 from Core, getting 3 road kills. I don't know how many of those were team kills. We won't go into it. The largest death streak, PHX Tobilot, up there again with 33. Excessive from What the Hell with 30.
Wow. Yeah.
And Monk leading the way this week with 2 pistol kills.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, I didn't hear he'd done that. Maybe he was on MG or something. That's typically where you see it.
I think he was on MG for a little while, down in like down by the bridge. I think he was kind of hanging out there and got involved in some of the close combat stuff. That's maybe where they came from. Also, Yo Too High from Core with the sniper, getting 64 kills as a recon. Talar from What the Hell with 58. So yeah, interesting, lots of good stats. Thank you so much to Abusify and to Jane for helping us with those. You can check out the ones that we've recorded here on this page. by looking on the posters channel in a short while once I've changed this logo around. You can check the posters channel on the Spring Seasonal Discord. If you type !Discord or !Seasonal in the chat, you'll hopefully get a link to the Discord. Sometimes it seems like it kind of refreshes the link, so it doesn't always work, but it should be there. If not, well, I don't know, just Google it. If you Google Spring Seasonal, you'll find the website, and that will show you the link and take you through there. So yes, well done everybody. Excellent stuff. So we've kind of talked about last week's games. We've talked about the stats from those games. We've talked about the games that are coming up this weekend and how you can catch those. But we'll finish off here today with watching some clips as always. And hopefully we've got some good ones for you today. We'll kind of start you off over with What the Hell versus Team Phoenix on Purple Heart Lane. Here you go.
Dark Squad, like, slowly he's moving this OP up basket. Oh. I feel for them. Like, I really do. I genuinely feel.
So, yes, that artillery game, that was just one of many, many examples. I did think about doing like a montage of all the different artillery deaths that you could have had from that game, but there were just so many. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there was a lot of those. I think I saw one at the end of the game off WTH Airhead that just got slammed right in the middle. That one was pretty rough.
That was disgusting.
Yeah.
There's quite a few like that. So yes, hats off to all those troopers out there in the trenches dying to the RT over and over, week in, week out.
Might be that 75 that we saw push. Yeah, it's a tank inside the point. That's how many tanks is that? Don't cross the bridge. Don't fall.
You just
the Sherman of the river.
a quality team
that
and
actually kept the point as well.
Doing quality plays, and then you have the tanks.
I love that he kills this guy too.
That they've been doing. Oh, is he gonna satchel it on the water?
In the water. It's like a film. He can't find the satchel. Oh, he's got it.
Oh, he's gonna shoot him before he gets it.
Why did he
Is he in the hard cap? He's in the hard cap.
I don't know, yeah, it seemed like he had the opportunity. Maybe he's kind of stuck.
I think it was like the water, maybe, like where he's trying to place it on the tank and then it's like interacting with the water.
There's been like a number of highlights right now.
Airhead got spawned in and they're all gone.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, disgusting.
Yeah, so some more brutal RT to finish her off there, but yeah, that was the tank spot that kind of won them that point, and you can see that they're like sunken right down, like below the line where they could actually be shot by any tanks, and yeah, managing to Star-Lord and his crew kind of managing to kill whoever that was with the buggy mouse wheel or whatever was going on there, who couldn't get the satchel down. Go check out Star-Lord's book, by the way. It's available on the Seasonal Discord. Do go check that out. It's kind of sci-fi fiction, but with a lot of the names of the characters you might recognize, especially if you're in What the Hell, I think. But go check that out. It's a good read. Ooh,
that's not good artillery, boys. Yeah.
We know that that's where you stopped, though, behind that house. I'm surprised.
Yeah. This is not like
it's the only cover.
They actually used the truck to get up on top of the roof.
Phoenix just lost the truck.
Phoenix lost the truck. That's always bad news. They lost the squad lead as well here. This is not going well for Phoenix, is it?
There's only one man on the point. Second truck coming up for the river.
And Phoenix is still eyeing this like single way in, but that's too late.
They haven't got a kill yet, and they're on the point. That should be relayed back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see what I was saying before, like that's not how you want your deploy phase to go, really, ideally. Yeah. I'm not sure if it was the Stuart that got the kill or the artillery that got the kill on the truck, but there was like 3 explosions all occurring at once all around it. If you kind of like see it on the right-hand side of the map, of the screen there, we'll watch it again, but yeah, it just disintegrates, and like you see all the players all just kind of like teleport for half a second out of the truck and then just get their body parts like dispersed around the field.
That's not good artillery, boys. Yeah.
We know that that's where you stopped, though, behind that house. I'm surprised.
Yeah. This is not like
it's the only cover.
They actually used the truck to get up on top of the roof.
Phoenix just lost the truck.
Phoenix lost the truck. That's already bad news.
That
They
was
lost
a
the
clip,
squad lead as
though.
well here.
Wasn't even actually
This is
on it,
not going well for
in a
Phoenix, is
radius.
it?
Yeah.
There's only one man on the point. Second
That
shot.
was artillery, right? It's hard to
And
tell.
Phoenix is still
They felt
eyeing
apparently.
this like single way
I
in,
remember
but that's
they
too
haven't
late.
got a kill yet, and they're on the point. That should be relayed back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fair play to whoever that was, either the Stewart or the artillery or a bit of both, just absolutely hammering them there. I mean, what the hell with a great, you know, they managed to get everybody kind of set out and get their own guys out of the truck, and then, yeah, with that kind of start, like, PHX were in a bit of trouble straight away.
Dann gehen die Pinks raus von der Arti. Und da ist die Spawn Wave. Und jetzt ist es schon halb durchgekappt gleich. Und. Oh shit! Holy moly! Das waren mal mindestens 14, 15, 16, 17 Kills. Die ganze Spawn Wave
The
reingelaufen.
tank is just like, where did they all go? I just saw a bunch of.
Yeah, I mean, I'm showing a lot of these artillery kills from this one game, I know, but like, just to give you this example of like just how devastating it was. So, we'll switch over to a different game now.
Nothing's funnier than hearing someone that is not English swear in English. Oh fuck.
Oh fuck. Play that clip again. Go on then, quick news.
Dann gehen die Pinks raus von der Arti. Und da ist die Spawn Wave.
Yeah, the 75 in the river as well.
Und jetzt ist es schon halb durchgekappt gleich. Und. Oh shit! Holy moly! Das waren mal mindestens 14, 15, 16, 17 Kills. Die ganze Spawn Wave reingelaufen. Dang! Oh.
Devastating.
Then again, Korea has Tra and Crusader on the point. That is gonna help them as well quite a bit. Both these cheeky fuckers. But the Greyhounds have captured the middle here. And I wonder if Humpel Pumpel, the assault there on the side, was able to put down a satchel on the Greyhound or anything. Yeah! And that's the double tank explosion. That was amazing.
So the double tank play with the satchel. And play again.
Then again, Korea has Tra and
It's kind of
Crusader
like
on
you
the
don't
point.
realise
That
that
is
it's
gonna help them
happening
as well quite a bit.
until it occurs.
Both these cheeky fuckers.
But just there, like north of the church.
But the Greyhounds have captured the middle here. And I wonder if Humpel Pumpel, the assault there on the side, was able to put down a satchel on the Greyhound or anything. Yeah! And that's the double tank explosion. That was amazing.
So a nice little 2-for-1 with that satchel.
Nice.
It's their OP just there, as you can see. Look who it is. ColeTrain here again, yeah, attentive in defence. Realising that
Oh, I remember this.
you can never ever let up against this team.
Oh.
Getting nice flanks here with the squad leader and the
What a nice
commander
pinch on him
pushing
there. That
ColeTrain
was,
with the OP there.
shout out to
Soviet's sniper
Brutish,
gonna
who's one of our
go down to
defense.
ColeTrain as well, so that's huge plays from the commander there.
SLs.
Cleaned up. Nice.
Very good to see. We've got any DMs to and from Chad Train there onto the Chad tank that for me is arguably one of the plays of the tournament. This Tiger tank going for the absolute Chad move. He's going to try and get himself satcheled and then blow up inside the point or something.
How we didn't run him over. I don't know.
He's under the
Oh,
bridge.
under,
Yeah.
yeah.
Savagery. The Lux firing.
yeah.
That's that sound you can hear whoosh whoosh past us. Doing their absolute goddamnedest here, the line to hold on to this point. Look at that tank firing point blank into the building. Don Weiss just holding on to his ass. Whoa! Great stuff from the tankers here.
Proper held that.
Coletto And Code did
Seriously.
an
And then
absolute
landing those shots and just
sterling job
splashing
here
this
inside the
area
point,
to get
and
him
they're
off
taking it
that.
back.
Just
The line are
massive play.
recapping this now. They haven't lost it yet.
And at
The
this point,
Lux
I was
moving-
saying, you know, we're playing for recap, and then I see Cleto moving in. I see
Yeah,
that
he just-
contest, and I was like, oh, what?
Just didn't take that order seriously. I mean, we spoke to Inchon as well after the stream, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we were getting ready to like move on to the next point. We had all of our like sequence in place of what we were going to do next, and then all of a sudden that happens." So,
Again, that's what
mental.
we've seen in tanks this seasonal. It's just brave opportunities like that and initiative. Sometimes you, like you said, you are playing for the defense, so that tank might not have pushed if they were about to lose a point. But things like that, when you need that little spark, it works. It pays off.
Yeah, and that's TL tanks, and yeah, I very much look forward to seeing them play against What the Hell. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm intrigued as to what's going to happen on the old tank game this weekend for sure. But yeah, with the Chad train and then the Chad tank there, that brings us to the end of the show. They're the last clips that I've got for you today. But thank you so much for joining us. Thank you as always to Known Connection. Thank you so much to ColeTrain for coming along.
Thank you.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. Best of luck in your future endeavors. You know, this game coming up this weekend. Hopefully, you know, from my point of view, hopefully there's a nice little upset on the cards. Connections making eyes, like you know, I shouldn't be saying things like this anywhere near his like stream, but it's on mine this week, so I can say whatever I want. So yeah, I'll be rooting for the underdogs as always. So what the hell for the win? As the underdog, what the hell for the win? So
it's going to be a good game. WTHTL. But yeah, I had something in my mind. I was going to say it was going to be just smooth, but I've lost it. So
amazing,
just
amazing.
good game.
Yeah, so good game, guys. Nice. So yes, thank you for joining us. Thank you to all the people in the chat for interacting. Nice to see you again. Like loads and loads of people kind of like return. Viewers, thank you as well for the follows, to all the people who've followed as well this week. Obviously we'll be back next week. We'll also be back after the final, so come check us out then. It's going to be kind of a different vibe. A few more people on the chat. We're going to have Heidi and Jane coming back. Obviously they were here for the first episode. They'll be coming back for the final. Hopefully we're going to have Abusify as well. Maybe we'll have some cold ones cracked open as well after all of this hard work that everybody's been doing this whole time. We've got Das Altberg on the show next week, which will be interesting to hear from him. Such a kind of big part of the community and been such a kind of big part of like the streaming and may well be streaming the final as well. So it'll be interesting to get his insight, what he thinks might happen in that last one once we kind of know how the chips have fallen. But yeah, do check out the seasonal Discord to see who's casting those games for this weekend, because they're going to be really great. If you don't catch them, then you can see the replays in the replay channel. You can see all the replays of the games from this weekend and all the weekends previously in the replays channel as well on the Discord. So make sure you shoot over there. Now, before we go, what we normally try and do is like share some of the love to the kind of streaming community, I guess, around Hell Let Loose. So is there anybody, people in chat that I'm really asking here, but is there anybody who you think is kind of someone that we should think about raiding here and sharing that Hell Let Loose love?
Come on, guys. Who are we going to raid now? And don't forget, thank you to everyone from me as well. Thank you, Garthnix, for hosting tonight. Thanks to everyone watching and participating in the tournament, and even just simply watching the tournament as well.
Yeah.
Big appreciation. Go follow all the streamers, because you do not know who is streaming this weekend. So go follow them all, and then you'll get a notification to see if they are hosting that game as well.
Yeah, absolutely. How about Dupcav? He's got 2 viewers at the moment. He plays for Badger Squad. What do you reckon?
Yeah, give him some love. Sounds
Some love.
Yeah, I think everyone, definitely support the streamers here as much as we can. All the players should be following and tuning in when they can because you guys put in a lot of work, I know.
Well,
behind the scenes.
it's a team effort, Without you guys out there playing, like, we'd have nothing to watch or cast, and we're just happy that we can kind of be here and provide some entertainment basically, and do it hopefully in a way that gives you all the insight that you need to go and find those RT snipe spots and counteract each other and make the game like more and more interesting. We try and get those kind of key things when we're watching the game, like you see the loadout phase or whatever, like wherever see where everyone is going, where those Garys get built, and hopefully it helps to kind of like push the whole thing forward and keep that progression, because we've seen a lot of progression even since the start of the tournament, let alone since like the start of Hell Let Loose. I know we've had lots of different updates, but since last season, or even like the different plays that we're seeing, crazy. I mean, I remember last time in the final it was absolutely mad when a core player, I forget who it was, like fired a rocket and hit the artillery from far away. Now we've got tank snipes from the other side of the map, so really crazy. Okay, let's go raid Dubcav. But yeah, share the love, give them a follow. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, ColeTrain, again. Thank you, Connection. And yeah, take care. See you either at the weekend or next Monday.
See you later, everyone.
See you.
We good?